want to create wines with character, quality and huge personality. Dear Graaff team Stoep tasting, it's obviously with great regret that we Muratie cannot be with you guys for your annual Stoep tasting. We've loved it every occasion that we've been there. We've met some great people, made some great friendship and shared some beautiful wines. We hope we can be there in September. In the meantime, try and have a look at our videos and look at our tastings we have to offer, and hopefully we'll see you there in good spirit and spirits in September. Best regards from the Muratie team. I'm standing here today at the little plaque that shows all the previous owners that lived here over the past 300 odd years. There's some beautiful stories here interlinked with all the names here. All our wines are named after people that lived and played a part on this magnificent estate over the past 300 years. And the history dates back to the year 1685, when the first owner was granted this land, Lawrence Campher. The title deed was signed over in the year 1699, so he actually started living here in 1685, and he was the first mountain farm in the Stellenbosch area. And Lawrence was granted this, and he built his little house behind us here. I'm looking in the direction towards Cape Town. I can see Table Mountain about 35-40 k's away. So Lawrence built his house. He came and moved here on his own. He had a bit of a hiccup in his life, and that was that he was in love with a lady, and this lady was a slave who was locked up in the slave house in Cape Town. So in order for him to see her, he had to walk from his house here 3 days on foot to Cape Town to visit Ansela from the Caab, the slave. And this journey he did for about 10 years until Ansela was emancipated, and he went to fetch her and brought her back. And in 1699, Lawrence, Ansela van der Caab, Cornelius, Jacob and Aghaniki were the first owners of Muratie. The list then jumps on to quite a few people. There were quite a few short tenures here, which were not of that importance to us or to me in particular as far as the history is concerned. The biggest interesting thing for me, it starts back again in 1763. That's when my great-great-great-grandfather, 8 generations ago, Martin Melck, bought Muratie, and he gave this property to his daughter Anna Katerina, who married at Beyers. The wedding was approved by Martin Melck. One of the reasons was that Beyers was a very staunch Lutheran, just like Martin was, and together the two of them fought for the right to practice their religion, which eventually culminated in Martin Melck being very instrumental in building the first Lutheran church, which still stands in Strand Street today in Cape Town. So Martin gave it to his daughter, and she became the Beyers, Anna Katerina, or Treintjie, who married Johan David, and their son then took over, and during that time they built the manor house, which is on my right. So this house would have been built in the 1730s, around about there. So the Melck clan lived here for approximately 120 years, and then the farm disappeared. And then 115 years later, my late father Ronnie Melck bought the farm back. Alberta Annemarie, the lady that had the farm before him, the spinster, knew that this farm belonged to the Melcks. So when she reached the gentle age of 79, she phoned my dad and said, "Look, I think it's good if you take the farm back into the family, with a few conditions, being to continue farming in the traditional way that Annemarie and her late father George Paul Canitz had farmed, to preserve the history and to farm as close to nature as possible, which is what we do anyway. We also, our farming practices are very biodynamic and the healthy farming culture that we install here. So we have fulfilled Annemarie's wishes. So that is how the wheel turned. So we have been back now for approximately 31 years and still continuing in the same traditional way Alberta wanted us to do, also by using very basic farming practices, hand picking of grapes, natural fermentation, very, very selective, hardly any use of pesticides. So we have tried to keep that wish of Annemarie's. So this is basically in a nutshell the history of the farm. It dates over 300, 320 years.